Welcome back to Cosmic Crucible. This is week 5, round 1. As you can see, I already won this one. Jiro dropped 2 to my 1. This actually should have been a one-shot across the board, but I did discover a critical piece to one of the attacks that I did, or that I've been doing for a while, that I changed, and it made it very obvious why I shouldn't do that. So we'll talk about that as well, and why that happened now and not previously. Otherwise, in this bracket this week, I think there's 4 or 5 Annihilus or Annihili, whatever the plural of Annihilus is. So ran into Jiro, who doesn't have one, neither do I. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Most likely I'm going to hit an Annihilus, so we'll have to deal with that. But I did switch up my defense and offense this round again, just to try a few new things, and so far so good, so let's get right in it. Alright, so stage 1, yet another Starjammer flavor attack. This time I brought in Executioner and Omega Red. I feel like I find good attacks but always play them just a little bit wrong, or just enough wrong where I lose a bunch of efficiency, because 12 here is pretty miserable. So you know, there's always the RNG that this guy's gonna die because he's low stat, which you gotta accept if you're gonna do this attack, but then you'll see how I should have played this differently, or just not brought Omega Red. Honestly, I was just thinking I would just blow them up, but I made one mistake, which in hindsight, you know, it's easy to call out. But anyway, Executioner, he just shreds in general. He's a 130 speed and an ability block and a ton of damage, so he's great here because, you know, immediately stop Howard from doing whatever he's doing. Almost one-shot this guy as well, so off to a good start. Now, I was always curious what will happen here. This is a, let's see, how big is this guy? 4 Diamond Havoc, and my Captain Britain barely survived that. So if this guy was any bigger, Captain Britain would immediately be dead. Luckily, with the Mephisto health, he barely survived, and then he won't get immediately targeted, at least directly, so that's good. Now, I figured, you know what, let's just kill a Starjammer. Let's get that guy out of the way. There's no need to let him take a turn, even though ideally you want to ability block Lilandra and or Groot, but I didn't want to make the mistake I made last week, which is just leaving too many people alive. Now, Mephisto basic on Lilandra, this is probably a mistake, because I figured I don't really care if Gladiator gets to do, or Gladiator pops down, because I just want to kill her. So I made a bit of an assumption here that she was going to die. Probably should have done this on Havoc, to be honest. But you see, I'm just like, in my mind, she's going to die. She's got so little health, tons of bleeds. I'm like, cool, she's dead. I don't need to worry about her. Then Howard does his basic, gives them all offense up, which sucks for me. He dies to the retaliate because he hit Executioner. Now, here Omega Red special, cool. But unfortunately, it didn't hit Lilandra, and she's piling on these regenerations from all the stuff that I think Groot is giving this out. And she got a little bit of health back somehow. Then this guy gets to go. You know, don't really care about that too much because I've got safeguard on everyone. But see, she survived, so she gets to do her ultimate, which sucks for me. It won't decay anything because she doesn't have enough Starjammers alive anymore, so that's good. And she has to retaliate, but, you know, still efficiency lost there because letting her take a turn is just bad. Then I do the Captain Britain ultimate on Havoc. Stun him. We've let Groot go, so he's gonna kind of undo that stuff. At this point, like, I've won this fight. It's just how efficient is it gonna be, and you can see, like, at this moment, she's pretty healthy. He's kind of okay, but unfortunate targeting. Havoc goes directly into him, so that kills some of my efficiency. He could have picked anywhere else, honestly. Mephisto special on Groot, because at this point, I'm more than happy to kill him, even if it gives this guy some buffs. Maybe that was a mistake because the speed up is going to make him take some extra turns, but again, this guy barely survives, retaliates a bunch, then also takes a turn onto her. So yeah, maybe killing him first was the answer. So probably I should have done Mephisto basic on Havoc and then Omega Red special on Lilandra, and then this would have been way more efficient. But hindsight 2020, I was never going to lose this fight, but this could have cost me if it came down to an efficiency battle, so this was honestly a bad attack is what I'd call this, because I could have overkilled this in many, many different ways, and I kind of played it a little wrong. Alright, stage 2. So I did pull Daring Warriors to offense again. The first time I tried to use them, it was versus an Annihilus comp. It kind of went to shit, so I got a little annoyed and I put them back on defense. But I wanted to pull them because it meant I could move some other pieces around. And Cosmic Crucible defense is all about the puzzle. It's like, what do you put on defense? What does that leave you for offense? Do you have enough things to react to things going wrong and all that stuff? And usually I don't leave myself too much room to react to problems, so I kind of have to plan really well. But I wanted to move my Professor X elsewhere, effectively, because he's kind of relegated to dealing with Phoenix Force. So I figured, you know what? Let me grab Daring Warriors, see how they do versus a Phoenix Force that shows up, and see if I like that. So for now, I like it. Even though there's going to be some efficiency problems, I guess, with the attack, because it's going to be hard to keep the non-Daring Warrior person alive, which might mean on offense you want Jessica. I'm not entirely sure I want to build her. And also the buffs that they recently gave these guys doesn't do too much to stop semi-cheap teams from killing them. And you'll see what I do soon. In the next room, actually. So anyway, Daring Warriors are generally good against Phoenix Force because Eclipse prevents revives. They also have a lot of callouts to like villains or villain mutants and controllers and shit. So their kits are good versus Phoenix Force. And I mean, to me, the biggest problem with Daring Warriors is that they were designed to beat very specific things, which is why they're not the best at others. So I think if you're going up against Phoenix Force or New Mutants, Daring Warriors will do really well. Anything else, it really depends on the mechanics on the other side, because you could run into problems. So I decided to bring Living Mummy in here anyway, because I still don't have a good feel for what these guys can eat and survive properly. In this case, they have to eat Songbird attack, which is unblockable, Executioner attack, which is blockable, but he still hurts, and then a Magneto. So I'm like, 3 attacks, I don't really want to lose someone, let me just throw in Living Mummy. I know he can eat attacks and survive because he has the revive, but that gets a little weird. So anyway, Songbird goes. This is unblockable, so really good damage on the Daring Warriors. Then Executioner goes, new stats, ability block on him, does a bunch of damage, but it can be blocked, so honestly, this just kills Living Mummy effectively. So this one wouldn't have mattered if it had targeted randomly, because it's not going to do damage, and you can't ability block Daring Warriors, so he's not a big problem. I was just worried about the combo of Songbird damage into Magneto damage, but probably I overthought it. Now the problem is, this guy resurrected with no health and then died to a Raider proc, so I lost efficiency there, which is a little unfortunate. You see, this guy, like, he took a lot of damage from Magneto, because I'm pretty sure the ultimate from Magneto is also unblockable. Yeah, it cannot be blocked. So like, that's why I was worried. If there's too many attacks that can't be blocked on the other side, you do run the risk of maybe losing someone. So I don't regret bringing Mummy, just to kind of test if things would hurt too much. I think in hindsight, I was probably fine. But also, if this Executioner was bigger, that could have been an issue. Yeah, see, this is just a 5 red Executioner. If there's a big Executioner on the side, I'm probably still bringing Mummy, and he's probably immediately dead. Or, well, not immediately, but he will die to the Executioner and then revive. Maybe if he survives that, he can then also get hit with Magneto and die, but anyway, it's a lot of talking. So after this, it's basically over. It doesn't really matter too much who you hit with Eclipse. I just hit the ones that I could affect, I guess. You could argue hitting into Omega Red is always good for vulnerables. But anyway, Thrasher goes and removes everything, does really good damage. I think I got a bit lucky with a pull here, and this guy is 4, my guy is 4, yeah, so 4. I also took him to DD9, so he's G21. So see, just that attack kind of just obliterates them, and then Daredevil goes and kind of finishes the job. Boop. So here, I debated pausing. Next time I will pause, but I kind of wanted to see how it would play out, so I was a little risky here. So Speedball special, just to kill her. Now, ideally you pause here, but she comes back, does a little damage, but that can be blocked. She does her special. That misses because she's blinded, which is great. And she also can't resurrect anyone. Not resurrect. She can't revive, what's his face? Nope, not her. Omega Red. Because, and this is great, in Crucible Battle World, enemies just can't revive. So you can never, like, once Omega Red is dead, he's dead. But here I am losing a bunch of efficiency just to her taking turns. I was hoping this would kill her and it would heal me up so it would kind of even out. But then I had to take a couple more turns, so overall it was probably going to be better to just pause. So either way, Daring Warriors pretty decent against Phoenix Force comps, and that does open up things like Jeff and Professor X to move around to other spots. Okay, so stage 3, there's a lot to talk about for this one. I built this comp to work in stage 3 specifically because I was working with the vulnerables. But after seeing how this played out, I think this would work outside of room 3 as well, although that's untested, so, you know, caution. So this is an interesting one. The whole concept was I need people that can take a hit from Eclipse, don't care about blind, and have unblockable attacks, because that's where 90% of the survivability of Daring Warriors comes, is from blocking attacks. And now that you can't stun Eclipse, then she's also guaranteed to kind of undo whatever you do before her, or not totally, but, you know, sort of mitigate it, I guess, and then also give immunity up to everyone so that you can't really stun anyone. So so the reason why I brought Gwen is because normally Eclipse would stop any pre-taunt, but Gwen is a brawler, not a protector, so she gets to keep everything here just fine. And the other thing was I really wanted to control where Eclipse is going to hit so that the vulnerables will go onto the people that mattered the most. Sentry would be great with vulnerables. He might one-shot this entire team, but there is no way of guaranteeing if Eclipse will go first or Sentry will go first, so, you know, I didn't want to take that risk. Jeff is also going to go before Eclipse, so it's kind of irrelevant, but this is why this positioning is here specifically. And again, all of the attacks here either happen before Eclipse goes, so like Jeff goes before, Sentry special is unavoidable, so it doesn't matter if you lose the coin flip. And then Null has unavoidable attacks, Blade has unavoidable attacks. Gwen is a fun one also because, for those that may not remember from back in the New Warrior days, she actually has 50% accuracy. So even if she's blinded, she does have a chance of not caring. And I did get a lucky 5 diamonds. So I figured this configuration was better even if Gwen misses. Rather than losing some coin flips and having Eclipse hit into someone that's already gone and then I don't get the vulnerable. So I just wanted to secure the room rules were playing in my favor. So this is also actually pretty interesting because, so Jeff goes, he actually didn't strip almost anything off. Usually he strips a few more of these defense ups off, so that was a little unfortunate, but whatever. Now Sentry goes, and this guy I did spend on him to get him to 3 diamonds. I also made him a raider in this case, although I think next time maybe Striker is better, especially in this room. And I am taking him to DD9, so that's kind of why I went a little extra on him. And he's amazing, so why not? So you'll see now, after just those 2 turns, Sentry's gone, and they're almost dead. Like, without block, they just crumble. So yeah, I think in the future, this guy is probably a striker, and after following Jeff, he will probably guarantee someone dies. And Speedball dying is pretty good because that opens up assists. What else does he stop? Let's see. Speedball. Oh, he's dead, so I can't see. Whoops. But when he goes, you can do assists. And right now, Sentry's going to be assisting. Null has a chance to assist. Blade is going to be assisting. So you just get extra damage. Now, Eclipse goes. She hits exactly where I want her to hit. And the other thing, obviously, she has 6 vulnerables, but because Sentry is here, she's doing her normal damage, not crazy damage. So again, Sentry MVP for safer room 3 attacks. Now, she healed them up a bunch, gave them, you know, death proofs and immunity and all that stuff, but it kind of won't matter. So here I do win the flip, so Gwen does get to go. Her attack can be blocked, so she doesn't do that much, but as you can see, there's just a bunch of assists and shit happening as well. So like Eclipse almost dies just to that, which is why Speedball dying is good. Now I do the null special here because the ultimate can be blocked, but the special cannot be blocked, and they're all clumped. And plus, it does more damage. So like this is 320 piercing, this is 350 piercing. Yep. So this will do a lot of damage, and as you can see, again, all these assists, null, boop. You know, the fight's kind of over. They could have died here, I guess, with some lucky procs. Carnage also gets to go before Daredevil, and actually, let's look at this one together. Sorry, I know I'm pulling this up a lot, but let's see. So I used the ultimate, which does a bunch of good stuff. Can't be dodged. So I knew this part, which is why I hit Daredevil, because I just wanted him to die. So this can be blocked, but this tends to call in an assist from null as well. But it's a lot of damage, bleeds, all that stuff. Can this one? This can also be blocked. Okay, so anyway, you get an extra attack with Carnage, which is fun because it also doesn't count as against your score. And then Blade goes, and I mean, he would have finished it anyway, but his ultimate is a big life drain, plus damage, plus unblockable, and rewinds if those ever matter. So I'm pretty sure this comp will work anywhere, because Daring Warriors are still susceptible to unblockable attacks, basically. So yeah, fun attack. I'm going to try this again when I see them and see how well it works. Alright, so stage 4. This is what I was talking about in the intro, where there's one big difference here that caused me to drop this attack, even though I've never dropped it before, and I realize now why. So this is the shitty version. This is the I don't have Emma X, but I have Damon, and I have to kill them. I want to one-shot it. So usually what happens is you eat the Gore attack, you eat the Null attack, and then Damon goes and ends it. So it's usually inefficient, but a one-shot. However, Shaw here is the problem, and we'll talk about why. So normally this attack, or I say normally, I'm pretty sure I've done this attack with Shaw in the past, or with just another pre-taunt that wasn't Mr. Fantastic, because the spoiler is that you kind of need Mr. Fantastic here ultimately. The problem is a lot of characters have scaled harder than these other characters. So, you know, in the past, not everyone had a 5-diamond null. Now everyone does. Interesting that he got an offense. Where did he get the offense up from? That's the room rule, I think. But that implies he got a heal from somewhere when I haven't touched him yet. It's kind of interesting. That might be also why this went poorly, or more poorly than usual. So, you know, Gore gets to go. That's fine. We expect this. Does a bunch of damage. Like, even my Strange here got kind of jacked up by Gore. My Apocalypse retaliated, so he healed up, which is great. And then Null goes, and he kills 3 people. And that is the problem, because the minute you lose 3 people, this guy hits his passive and ability blocks, you know, 50% chance to ability block Damon or someone else. So it's actually interesting that he got offense up, because technically nobody touched him, so I'm not really sure why he got that. But as long as you lose only 2 people, which is usually what happens, this is a safe but inefficient attack. But now with my Damon ability blocked, I don't do anything. So I decided to keep this because at the time I hadn't fully realized why this failed, and I didn't want to get stuck in a loop. So I decided to keep it because I knew that cleanup for this would be extremely easy. And to explain what the biggest thing is with that attack is normally you do this. You want to do the stack with Mr. Fantastic. And he kind of compensates for a lot of the damage that comes in, because on spawn he gives everyone 15% barrier from his health, which helps mitigate a lot of that incoming damage. So he's great because he's not going to die, he's not going to drop his taunt, and he will help your team actually take those hits better. Although with that offense up from Null, I'm still kind of debating what the deal is with that. But anyway, if we go back here, So yeah, I'm not going to show the Immortal X-Men cleanup because it's very easy cleanup. Most of the damage that you eat is just from mind controls. I think Blue Marvel does a basic, Gore does a basic, Null does a basic, Blue Marvel does a basic, and that's it. The rest is all just darkness chipping away at you. I did bring Beast in here instead of Cable because I wanted him to help heal the team up, because Cable's not really going to do much. So still not my favorite cleanup attack, but I know how to bulletproof this one now if I have to do it again. Ideally you can bring Emma to prevent the incoming damage altogether. But yeah, if you have to do this version, either I guess if your Strange is big enough to survive no matter what, you kind of don't need Mr. Fantastic, or probably also make this guy a fortifier. Everyone should be a fortifier except for Damon, basically, just to help not lose a lot of people and proc the 50% ability block from Gore. So, yep, lesson learned for next time. Room 5, the classic. Not going to show it. I've done it many times before. It's in previous videos. This one is a little bit unlucky with some RNG targeting. Gwen does make this a little bit more inefficient because you just can't stop Wolfsbane and Warlock, and you kind of have to stop Warlock no matter what. Also, interesting choice that he's a healer, but I guess that probably helps him survive. So yeah, just a little unlucky with some of the targeting. I actually almost lost this guy at one point. But it wouldn't have mattered because he never got to his second turn because Odin just kind of killed everyone. And finally, stage 6. So I am trying something different in 6, and I intentionally pulled Hyperion to offense because with him, I think you can kind of just deal with anything on the other side because you can ensure that you always go first. Now, obviously, it helps that there's no Hyperion here, but I think as long as your Hyperion gets hit first, which you can always control, I think your entire team should still go before the enemy team because you've passed the threshold of your first turn. So I think my entire team gets to go, and then they get to spend their speed bar. But at that point they should be dead. So this comp was good from an efficiency sync perspective because it's got a tank over here, this guy healing them, a really good tank over here as well. So it just takes forever to get through this guy and this guy, which is where I lost most of the efficiency, as you're going to see right now. But otherwise, let's see. This plays out similarly to the other versions of this that I've done, except... So I've done a lot of attacks with Mephisto here, which breaks synergies. However, with Hyperion here, I don't need to mess around with Mephisto and I can use him elsewhere because I feel like I have more control of the fight, which means I can bring in more teams. So I can bring in things like Sable to remove all these buffs, or Daredevil, who can tank like crazy, but he needs his full team. So trying out the setup to see if I like it. The risk I took here was that because I'm leaving Nova with the charges, it means I can't get Safeguard or immunity, so I accept that I'm going to take a bad first hit. So, boop. Yeah, see, I get, this is a problem because it gives me a bunch of debuffs. However, I also got 30% speed bar on everyone, so I'm just going to get ahead of them no matter what. So, here we do the Sable ultimate to strip as many buffs away as we can, which worked. It even took the taunts off these two guys, which is not super guaranteed. Then I figured this clump feels like the most threatening, so what if we killed them? And I also didn't need to get off of any taunts, which Hyperion would have let me do with his special. Then I figured, since I've already decayed a bunch of stuff with Sable, I just don't want this guy fucking around with speed bar either, because when he pushes people, when someone gets pushed below 50%, he'll give them speed bar and offense up. So I use the ultimate from Swordmaster for a change, just to stun him and almost one-shot him. Like, if the offense down wasn't here, he would have been mega dead. And at this point, I know I've already won, so only this guy has a vulnerable. He's gonna die anyway, so I target into Swordmaster. You can see this does a lot of damage. Unfortunately, I still have offense down here because I was trying to kill this guy before this guy takes a turn. Actually, let me check. Oh, I can't pull up the thing again. Anyway, I tried to kill him. The offense down barely means I didn't, so unfortunately that happened. So he gets to live, which means he gets to heal. So, all of these actions here are because he didn't die and he got to go and brought him back up. So, again, I haven't lost this fight, not even close. It's just going to be very inefficient. The other thing that's interesting is that I'm surprised he stunned my Hyperion here, because the stun on the ultimate should only work if there's a full team here, but a lot of his stuff seems to persist even as long as you started with the full team. it'll persist afterwards. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, at this point it's just me going through attacks. I'm gonna go through it quickly because there is nothing of interest here other than I'm just waiting to kill them, and it's hard to kill them because they block a lot, they heal a lot. So this is a good. This is good that I had this Swordmaster special still, because it helped me kind of debuff them a bunch and, you know, kill this guy a little faster. Now it's just this guy who is being annoying. So yeah, if you're trying to soak efficiency, this is actually a pretty good composition because it's just slow to get through. Unless you bring Sentry, and then you can just really overpower things, but I do not want to waste Sentry in this room. I know it's very common, but because of the way my defense works, I usually have to use Sentry somewhere else. So then he just bleeds out, I think? Yep. So that was it. Yep, that was the whole first round. I'm probably gonna match with someone that has a Nihilist tomorrow, unless I manage to thread that needle. So we'll see how that goes with the updated defense and offense. But yeah, otherwise, see you next time.